from Indian corporate governance domain. Today, India is the sweet spot for the entire world to look for business investment opportunities. And when India is eyeing to become $5 trillion economy, it's those thought leaders of corporate India, the board of directors, who are going to play a major role in this entire uh, vision of India taking to the 5 trillion. Now, boardrooms are the place where fortunes of great companies are written, and with MentorMyBoard's focus on a holistic approach towards governance, we bring all those unheard stories, the stories of the leaders who have seen boardrooms very closely in whatever capacity, whether as independent directors, founders, women directors, CXOs, or even the consultant and advisors to those boardrooms. Now, MentorMyBoard, let me also briefly speak about MentorMyBoard. MentorMyBoard is today a brand known to Finance Minister of our country, Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji. We conduct, host various certification programs. We have a complete tech-enabled platform for board leaders. And most importantly, we're talking of building a community, a movement for taking the governance to the core, to the next level. Now, we on the platform of MentorMyBoard, we have a lot of blogs, a lot of content, a lot of modules, a lot of courses, and also a networking platform for the board leaders. Now, welcome to this 56th Boardroom Talk, and I think the 13th in this series with Mr. NB Shetty, CA NB Shetty, who's been supporting SMEs and MSMEs with his massive experience in funding, taxation, compliance, investment advisory for over 5 decades. That's a huge experience, sir. So let's start today's interactions with Mr. Shetty. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this Boardroom Talk series.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me take the honor and advantage to introduce CANB Shetty. He's chairman at Triveni Management Consultancy Services, chairman at Rupeeboss Financial Services. He's senior partner at NBS&Co, Company, and he has been Times Man of the Year 2020, Iconic Brand of Maharashtra Award 2022. Now, chartered accountant, cost accountant, and the multiple award winner, entrepreneur, financial wizard, uh, widely respected community leader, and a deeply committed philanthropist with human disposition. He has 5 decades of experience into the Indian financial capital markets and dynamic financial market. I'll speak about, and I will let him speak about his rank in the CA finals. He possesses substantial knowledge, experience in the area of finance and business administration, enabled with creating and leading robust organization that boost customer delight. His company NBS and company is headquartered in Mumbai with offices in Bangalore, Chennai, Mangalore, and which specializes into the financial and tax advisory to various large and small scale industries, and also audit for various public sector companies, having been selected by SEBI to conduct inspection of Tata Mutual Fund and Bob Mutual Fund. Now he is renowned hotelier with having set up of multi-cuisine restaurant in the heart of Mumbai, the Classic Group in Matunga, which recently completed 35 years of the service, of years of serving customers. His company, Rupeeboss Financial Services, is a DSA for more than 100 banks, NBFCs, and a fintech company which is part of Triveni Group. He's married to Miss Manorama Shetty and with blessed with 2 lovely daughters, Roshni and Pooja. He is sports enthusiast and the regular with his tennis game ever since he was introduced to the tennis at the age of 38. What an amazing journey you have, sir, and really delighted to have you with us. Thank you so much for accepting our request to join in for this boardroom talk. So welcome.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction,
Thank
and thank you for inviting me for this talk on your pod. This one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I'm very much
So
delighted.
thank you. So, welcome to this boardroom talk, sir. And I also welcome all our viewers who are watching and who will be watching in, joining us on this Sunday morning. Let's make this Sunday morning enriching with the best wisdom from our eminent mentor today. So, sir, first my question comes to you is what has been your journey from a boy from a small town of Mangalore to an eminent chartered accountant with 5 decades of experience and having multiple businesses, successful multiple businesses? So, would be really happy to have your story, and then we will move forward on your learnings.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And it was very uh, interesting and very fulfilling journey in Mumbai. I came to Mumbai in 1966 and I started a small job in a company. And next year I joined Mumbai Port Trust. At the same time, I started my uh, morning college in Siddharth College of Commerce in 1967. I Meanwhile I was working for Mumbai Port Trust. 71 I cleared my BCom and wanted to do some professional business. In that time, there was not much advice, but some quarters of my known people suggested I should do a chartered accountancy. So 71, I joined my articleship, and the cost accounting also joined together. And 70 in the intermediate, I had a 25th rank, and the final I had a 11th rank, and I did my both costing as well as the chartered accountancy in 3 years. I mean 74 November I completed both the exams, and since I was working and there are a lot of financial obligation for the family, so I started immediately the practice. So somewhere around 75 beginning I started my practice, and we had, I mean, as you said, we are also from a small town, not much known people in Mumbai, so it was a very difficult thing to get acquainted, get business is a challenge. But
Correct.
luckily, I could, get a good start with my community people because most of the hoteliers become my customers, and lot of industry, small scale industry those days, it was 10 lakhs was the SSI, limit.
Correct.
So we did lot of funding for the SSI those days also, like hoteliers, transport operators. So after that, we I got into so many other business. Got into stockbroking, restaurant, merchant banking, uh, then register and transfers, and some manufacturing activities. So it was a great journey. It was great learning for me to, and with all these things, today we are completing almost like 5 decades in practice and
Yeah.
other activities, and it's a very happy journey and very satisfied and very lucky to be here in this position today. So
Amazing, amazing. So, 5 decades of consistent performance, and today, I mean, I've seen a lot of companies, especially even when we talk of chartered accountant firms or even stockbroking firms. Today, with the new age technology, the way disruption is happening, and consistently, being there in the ecosystem for 5 decades is something wonderful and amazing. So now you've seen this journey for so many businesses, whether big or small. For founders now, for founders of the unlisted companies, what are the key aspects of corporate governance that they should prioritize? Because we are talking of the boardrooms for the mid-sized growing companies, and with your rich experience in looking at governance, because when you are auditing, you know what's exactly happening in the businesses. So, what would be your learning from so many businesses? What you have seen as far as governance is concerned?
see, as far as listed companies or unlisted companies, the governance looks to be same. There's nothing different. But in case of MSMEs and small companies, initially they think how to achieve the business targets, how to make profit. The priorities are different. That's
Correct.
why they are not able to get into the governance principles or compliances. But I think now in the present scenario, that is also very important for the even for the smaller companies to get into governance in different aspects. Whether it is kind of uh, boardroom composition, whether it is a compliances, external auditors, or the risk management, the stakeholders, engagement, ethical conduct, succession planning, reviews. All those things are very important for the even the smaller industries also.
Hmm.
And if they start do this in the beginning, it will be easy to comply in the future whenever they want it. Like bankers or the investors, they look into these aspects very clearly now. It is not that easy to raise funds now. If you talk about 30, 40 years back, if you know the bank manager, the chairman, you would have been able to, get a loan because on your credibility. Today, the whole system is, system driven, and the paperwork, the KYC and your compliances and your governance, all those things will, and your even the civil records, so many things will affect your future conduct of the business. So one has to be very, very careful. And if they can, it's like cultivating a habit. Suppose assuming that you have got a good habit in your personal life, whether it is kind of health matter, financial matter, discipline, same way if you inculcate that into when you start a business,
Correct.
of course, very difficult, it's very difficult to practice both together, because the focus of the people to, when you start a business, your focus is entirely different.
Correct.
You have to do a lot of things alone, because you don't have a kind of structure where you can get a CFO or you can get a marketing guy, unless you start a mid corporate level or something like that. The MSMEs
Absolutely.
are very difficult to
Absolutely.
get into that. But still, I feel that this governance in all these aspects, which I told you, very important for the even the smaller industries to grow. And suddenly you can't think, I want to do these things. It takes a lot of time to get into that. Suppose your balance sheet you are preparing, if you don't prepare properly as per the normal standards which is required by the bankers, and suddenly changing the balance sheet is not possible.
Correct.
So it takes at least 1 or 2 years to totally clean up your, the figures and
Absolutely.
profitability, whatever is there.
Correct, correct, correct. So I think in this, entire governance, when we talk of the mid-sized businesses, smaller businesses, role of professionals like chartered accountants, company secretaries, also is very, very eminent. And the way regulatory oversight is increasing now, I mean, I still remember, the dual balance sheet system, what one was used to be submitted to the registrar of companies, and one used to be submitted to the banks. But now I think
Yeah.
even banks have access to ministry's data bank, and they can go and cross check the balance sheets, and all the entire regulatory, I mean, system is getting so synced with each other that it's very, very difficult for businesses to not to be working ethically. So it's very, very important that they start focusing on the, the, as you said, the risk management of it, the succession planning, how they are going to take the businesses to the next level, and creating robust structures starting from the basic stage of their journey of their businesses is very, very important.
Yeah.
Rightly said, rightly said. Thank you so much. So this takes me to the next question is, now, how can these founders of those unlisted companies ensure transparency and accountability in their organization, especially with the oversight of without oversight of public shareholders? What happens is, in listed companies you have outside shareholders, stakeholders, but when they are unlisted, they're small. How they can ensure the proper accountability and transparency? If you can throw some light on that, sir.
See, the transparency and accountability is the two pillars of the business. Unless you are very transparent to, even if it is not a listed company, your accountability to the employees, the customers, the bankers, and your own, board, whatever it is, you are
Correct.
accountable. In the I mean, as I told you, there's a very thin distinction between unlisted and listed companies if you want to really keep the governance in operation. So you have to be you have to have implement the robust internal controls,
True.
adopt financial reporting standards,
Hmm.
engage external auditors, establish clear communication channels with your stakeholders, the employees, and the bankers,
Correct.
and develop a kind of code of conduct within your organization, establish a governance board or a advisory board, regular training and workshop for the employees. So when you are able to communicate with all your customers, bankers, and employees, and you're transparent and your proper communication systems, where nothing is like hidden, everything is open, everything is can be discussed, and people will have confidence, your customers will have confidence in you. So both transparency and accountability will be developed in your organization. It will help you in your future endeavors, even in raising capital or raising further loan from the institutions. It will definitely help you to keep a kind of long-term view on your entire organization.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, I mean, I was about to ask you the next question, and you covered that point briefly in this.
Mm.
Is that about effective decision making? That how do you, those small businesses create the structure and mechanism to make sure that they maintain effective decision making? And in fact, one of the point you covered is about the advisory board roles,
Mm.
governance.
Yeah.
So
Over and
yeah,
above the
you
board,
can throw some light
regular
on
board.
importance of, yeah, because we are talking of creating advisory boards for SMEs and MSMEs, and not many businesses really, even go and think that why they should have the advisory board for them. Can they afford advisory board? So any guidance note on, how do you create that advisory board?
See, advisory board, in mean, it all depends upon your, how much you want to spend, because nothing is free. So a good advisory board will cost you,
Correct.
and if your business can afford or you can invest that kind of money in for your future growth, I think maybe a good chartered accountant, maybe a good lawyer, maybe a technical guy which is knows your business is a kind of composition of advisory board. Can be kind of, you need not meet very often, maybe once in 3 months you meet and take the guidance, or
Correct.
whenever there is a decision making is required, you immediately get into that. In the family business, normally what happens that you normally depend upon your family members, and I think you don't get a kind of real input from the professionals. Basically, sometimes you don't want to spend, because the normally, as the professional advisory payment is the last resort for the people.
I
So
agree. Absolutely.
they think they can do without that. But I think that in the normal, I mean, in the present scenario, I think if your business can afford, or you can invest that kind of money in your business, I think this definitely will help you. And decision making within the family or within your core, this one may not give you a kind of the depth in the subject. So it's better to consult some other people, and the even documented decision making, the process, the regular board meetings, and
Correct.
maintaining the minutes, because normally the small companies, they that how you write a minutes book every 3 months, and just only take the regulatory
True.
compliances,
True.
which is, I think, over the time people should change. And a regular board meeting, it may not be a big agenda there, but a formal meeting is a must according to me. So this will help into getting proper advisory, regulatory,
Absolutely.
as well as all those advices will be given to you, and it will help you to grow in the business in future.
Absolutely. In fact, advisory board. I mean, as you said that a lot of times family uh, members, or when the board consists of only the family members, you don't get that outside in perspective. And for that outside in perspective, creating the right advisory board is very very important. And if I think it's just a matter of as you mentioned about making sure that you invest that money in having right people with you at the top level, at the decision making level. So very very important.
Yeah, it may not mean give a immediate return, but I think in
Yes,
long term it will really help the
long term,
business.
exactly. That's why investment is a right kind of mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah, that this is not a cost but it's an investment
yeah, yeah.
in your future and
The
the long term
future kind
development.
of.
Correct. So, sir, can you share your personal experiences and challenges if you have faced as the founder of Rupee Boss, your chain of restaurants, and how did you navigate them, while upholding good practices? So, if you can share some.
Yeah, I mean, uh, basically, we started with the practice and it went very well. Then I diversified into different other business like stockbroking, then the restaurants. Of course, there is a challenge in every business. There is a challenge, and restaurant is a very difficult business because maintaining quality is not easy thing. So at one time we had about 7 restaurants, 500 people working with us. So did very well, and course of time because my daughters were abroad, so we curtailed that business. But I was always into new businesses, and finding new ventures was my kind of thing. Rupee was one of them, and it was uh, initially started with from Landmark Group. They had a company called Policy Boss, so it was a subsidiary of Policy Boss. But this particular unit was not doing that well. So they wanted to. The TPG was their investor, so they wanted to hive it off. So the CEO is known to me, so he came to me, and 2021 is a difficult time, COVID.
Right.
So we tried to take over. We started the negotiation somewhere at end of 2021 April. We took over. That time we had about 130 people. Now we are grown into about 400 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and we invested a lot of time, energy. My both the son-in-laws putting because Jitesh is the tech guy, so he looks in tech matters.
Mm.
My other son-in-law is a financial guy. He is a partner in a fund called Aries Management. It's a 400 billion fund.
Mm.
So he looks after the little administration and everything. So at the moment we are disbursing about 500 crores every month. As you told, we are DSA about more than 100 banks and NBFCs. And the restaurant business also suffered a kind of hit in COVID, and but we maintained all the staff and we paid all the salaries to everybody. So it was a good time. And see, every in a life, always the up and down is there. You have to sustain that
Absolutely.
particular period, and
Correct.
I think we did very well. We are going to regret in that. And COVID given a lot of lessons, so you should not think all the time will be same. So you have to always, prepare for the worst. So if you come out of the worst, I think you will be the one of the best person to survive.
Absolutely.
So it was
Absolutely.
a
What a
good experience, and we did very well.
right. So, I've seen a lot of companies have retrenched people when the times were not good. So I really liked what you said is you actually retained all those employees, paid them during tough time. I think that's a wonderful practice, and I think the businesses, the purpose of business is not only to earn money but also to create that impact for the people who are associated. I mean, again, the employees being a very, very important stakeholder.
Yeah, in that 3 years, we never, including our house help, drivers, staff, we have paid the full salary for everybody, no cut, and it was a really good experience. And during that period, we supplied about 5 lakh packets to BMC, the food for the hospitals and the fire brigade and all. The 4 months we supplied about 5 lakh packets. Of course, paid they paid this one, but very very kind of cost to cost. It is not a profit making venture, but it was a fabulous help to
Wow,
the yeah.
super. So, any lessons from your life, especially from your failures, if any, and the setbacks, as you mentioned, for the next gen directors and entrepreneurs? Some key learnings and message for them.
The success and failure is a part of the life. You have to take it both in the same stride. And in my life, I had one or two major kind of setbacks. Uh, 2008, I had a colon cancer. I was out of action for a year, and business suffered because I was a key man. So, so you have to be very careful about your health. I advise all the entrepreneurs, take care of your health. Health is very important because without health, nothing works.
Correct.
However, the money you made at the age of 60, 70, if you don't have health, I think you definitely will regret what you did. So failures are the one. I mean, few times we had a wrong decisions in some business we started. It didn't work. some ventures we did in the restaurant, some hotels have failed. So when your cash flow is enough to take care of your regular, needs, what I always feel that your regular business should run, and you may not making a big money, but your regular work, I mean your the lifestyle should not change. I mean you have to sell your house, sell your car. That situation should not come. And if
Right.
you make little loss in some businesses, I don't think it is a big thing to you can always come back. But your health goes, then you will you will be a big loss in your life.
True.
So we balance most of the things, even some failures we are taking a good stride, and I think we are doing fairly well. I'm very happy about that. Nothing to
Okay.
regret. Whatever is gone bad is bad. It's okay. Nothing to worry on that. And everybody should practice that, because normally some people are very very possessive. Something goes wrong, they will really take it to their heart, and definitely it will give a bad effect on your other businesses, and you will.
Correct. True. I think very, very important point. I mean, multi businesses is not bad. I mean, what I take it from your, interaction, main one business which is, running, you
Yeah.
ensure that that runs properly,
Yeah.
and then you keep experimenting. So that's a wonderful kind of a
Yeah,
suggestion.
which is a lifestyle business, which is
With the lifestyle,
yeah.
yes, with
Yeah.
the lifestyle. Correct. Absolutely. So this is actually, a connecting question,
Mm.
that how can, the founders of the unlisted business, or even I'll go and say listed companies, because a lot of SMEs are now getting listed. They strike the balance between maintaining the control, the authority, and also while ensuring the checks and balances within the organization, and then letting it go. So if you can share something on the checks and balances of how much to control, how much to let go, something on that, what you have experienced, because I know now you have been at a stage where, during our last conversation also you said I let go a lot of things. So how do you strike that balance, if you can share something on that?
See, uh, in in the privately held businesses, normally promoters like to have a lot of control. Everything
Correct.
they should have say, which I think slowly it is coming down, because what you see 30, 40 years, even in a restaurant business, he has to go to the market also, he has to in the cash box also, he used to go to the kitchen also. But now
Right.
if you see the second generation, they don't do that.
Hmm.
All the material comes from the market. Nobody goes to the market. He doesn't sit in the cash. And
Because
it,
everything comes directly on the credit in the bank
yeah,
account.
I'm at the control side.
The control side, yeah.
Yeah, suppose everything he used to decide. Even you have to employ a small cleaning boy, he may be taking the decision. I'm just
Correct.
talking about the restaurant business. It
Hmm.
will apply to SME also.
Right.
SME also, when you start a factory or some enterprise, you try to do everything yourself. So
Correct.
you are a proprietor also, you are a CFO also, you are a HR head also, everything you are doing. But slowly, I think people should delegate, and they should appoint proper people. I may not say that the SME cannot afford a CFO.
Correct.
Now part-time CFOs are available, online CFOs are available, and the then constituting a small board, maybe may not be very expensive board, but at least some advisors, as you have mentioned earlier. So he has to, even though family members are there in the business, if we can infuse some outsiders in some key areas, it always help you to grow, because you think that your son is very good, or your son-in-law is very good, they can manage the business. It may not be true. Some kind of other outsiders which has got a domain knowledge can come into and help you to improve the business. So it is a kind of both balancing outside knowledge and your own expertise, and ultimately the proprietor will be more passionate about the business, and he'll be more cost saving. Because the
Right.
outsiders may not do that kind of thing, but ultimately you have to balance it. You have to balancing is an act where it can growth can go together.
Absolutely. So we are, just reaching 11:30. So I'll ask my two last questions to
Hmm.
you. Recently, Mr. Narayan Murthy said work 70 hours a week. I'm sure you have seen that kind of work and pressure. So after building successful, businesses, now how do you spend your time today, and what keeps you busy?
See, the 70 hours, I think it is not a bad idea because any entrepreneurs initially they may be working more than that. Suppose if
Right,
you 12 hours, 7 days, it will become 84 hours.
right,
And even if you work 12 hours and if you sleep 8 hours, still you have got 4 hours.
right.
So ultimately, what is required is the peace of mind and the success. See, by working, your body will never get kind of
True.
fatigued or anything. When you don't do well, you work 12 hours, nothing happens. Then I think you'll be more worried. So, take an example of, we used to work initial stages like I had a morning college at 7 o'clock, then 10 to 6 office, then the part time, then the full time job. So, by working extra hours, I don't think it will spoil your health or anything there. Health
Right.
will be spoiled when you don't perform and you're going to kind of fatigue. Mentally, you're not happy.
Hmm.
Otherwise, by working nothing, your body is like a machine. If you maintain properly, it can work 3 shifts also.
Oh my God, that's a wonderful statement. True.
So you have to
Maintaining it is very, very important. Right.
your body is very important. Body how you maintain. Now Narayan Murthy also might have worked maybe 15 hours a day
Yeah.
initial stages. So there is
Correct.
no holidays. See, even in my case, I don't take any kind of off. But I had slowed down a little bit. Say I'm 74 now. So what I do is that I run twice a week. Then I play tennis. I play cards. Keep occupied.
Hmm.
The sleep is a thing which you can always control. Suppose it's like a uh, the moment half an hour if you increase every day
Hmm.
sleeping, I think you're not able to get even up to 9 o'clock. So it is a habit for me. So working is something I think anybody can cultivate, and if
Absolutely.
you get a good result, I think your body will always support you. Like
Absolutely. Absolutely.
politicians, you see they work 18 hours, nothing happens. They're growing. There, if you see their, but the moment they lose power,
Yeah.
the power and the money should go together.
It should
And
go
your
to
body will
very
also
well.
come
Very
together.
well said. Right. Good, good, good. So, in fact, I also, have been observing my, work kind of routine. So, 15 hours or 14 hours is very, very normal. But,
Yes.
when you're passionate about what you're doing, I think time is just the matter.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
you have to feel happy. You shouldn't complain.
Absolutely. Correct.
Normally, what
Correct.
happens is
Correct.
that in life when work is there, you always complain. Oh, this I have to do, that I have to do. See, even employees, they think that they're working for themselves. You have to take a kind of culture that you are working yourself. You are not working for somebody. The moment you
Correct.
think you're working for somebody, then your initiative goes. So
True.
whenever you're even the smallest person, he works for himself. He have to upgrade himself. He have to develop his attitude towards life. So then I
Correct.
think you'll be very happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And the last question, your thoughts on Mentor My Board and need of such platform for growing startups and SMEs and MSMEs.
See, actually, as we have discussed earlier, there's a lack of knowledgeable board members in any field, whether it's the women directors or mentors or the advisors, because they don't have a real knowledge how to, participate in the boardrooms.
Right.
So training is a must because nobody is, uh, learn by reading books only. But
Correct.
some kind of orientation if somebody can give, like what you started, mentor my board. I think a good initiative. I think the people who has taken this kind of training, they'll be more useful in the boardroom.
Right.
They contribute, and otherwise most of the PSUs I had seen in bank boards and other public sector, they are nominated by the government of India, so they don't have a knowledge. You can't blame them, but there's a kind of that. If they get some kind of orientation, some training on the subject what they have to talk, I think that will be very useful to the organization where they go represent the people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And amazing interactions with you. So many deep insights. Thank you so much. So before we close, I would like to tell everyone that Women Directors Conclave 2023, the third conclave, is happening on 15th of December at BSc. And Iconic Women Directors Award is something which is we've come out for the first time, and nominate your boards, your women leaders on your boards, in whether it is in executive role, independent directors role, or non-executive directors role, SMEs, MSMEs, or even the listed, unlisted PSUs. Everyone can nominate. So go ahead, nominate. The details are there on www.mentormyboard.com. And make sure that you celebrate the success of women board leaders on your organization's board. So with this, we thank CA NB Shetty sir for being here with us, sharing his deep insights on his journey, his leadership, his businesses, and how he's been creating the impact through his remarkable contribution to SMEs and MSMEs. So thank you so much, sir, and look forward for the next week with yet another board leader, board expert, with lot of different questions and insights for all of us. So thank you so much, and thank you, sir, for being here with us on Sunday morning and sparing your Sunday morning with us.
Thank you very much for calling me here and discussing the governance and other matters. And it's a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for all the viewers. And I hope it is a good conversation. They can take some clues from us and ideas from this meeting, and will be helpful to all the
Absolutely.
viewers. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.